Welcome to Taiwan Talk. I'm Sheree Felice, and this week I'm speaking with Angie Hu, an animation designer who has worked for Zynga and Disney, in addition to creating her own art studio, teaching students how to market themselves in the animation and design world. Angie, how are you?
Hi, how are you, Sheree?
I'm great. So tell me, what's your style of art?
I like to do pure art and animals, mostly animals and sometimes beautiful girls.
Okay. And how do you usually create your art? Do you do it virtually or by hand?
I do both. Doing digitally is faster, and sometimes I like to use a traditional medium like ink or watercolor.
Okay. What would you say you prefer?
I prefer maybe digitally. It's convenient because I got a new iPad. I can draw everywhere.
I see. So, how long have you been doing art?
Well, it's been a long time. I think since I was a kid. And then I went to the art school in Taiwan, Fuxing Meigong.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah. So I started professional art school since high school. And then after I moved to the U.S., I went to like a couple different colleges studying art and design.
What colleges did you go to?
It's a long story, but I've attended 4 colleges. And the last one is Art Center College of Design. It's like one of the top art school in LA, in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
But before that, I also went to University of Washington for a short time and the Art Institute of Seattle.
Okay, so why don't you tell me a little bit about your history with Zynga and Disney?
Before I got off Art Center, I was thinking about, I like to do cute things, so maybe I should apply TV animation or animation movies or games. Social games was really popular, like Farmville and Mafia Wars. Zynga was like the number one at that time.
Right.
So while all of my friends and classmates are doing cool concept art for movies and video games, I was the only one doing cute and flat 2D style art on the wall for my grad show. I was so lucky. I got an interview with Zynga, and then they hired me right after my first interview.
Oh, wow. What did you do there?
It's a LA office of Zynga, so they are a smaller remote studio. They wanted to have a new game because 90% of the studio are males. They are all guys. And they want to make a game that's more for mutual, more for female-friendly, more cute style, like a theme park game.
Okay.
So I was hired as a first artist to do the concept art right from the beginning, like during their pitch time, pitching the game to pre-production. So I was in the project all the way from the beginning to the end.
Okay, for what game?
It's called Coasterville.
Okay.
Roller coaster, Coasterville.
Coasterville. Okay. Is it still a game now?
It's gone.
What was your experience like there? Did you enjoy working at Zynga? It's quite a big company.
I actually enjoy a lot. Zynga headquarters has different culture, but our remote studio, we have our own culture, while we can have the benefits from the headquarters. So I think it's a perfect combination.
Okay. And what made you decide to leave and then go to Disney?
I didn't leave because while enjoying our happy time for 2 years, Zynga had their own problem. And then they lay off like a lot more than 10 remote studios. So we got laid off. So I took a 1-year break, having fun.
Okay. And how did that journey take you to Disney?
I ran out of money and I realized, okay, it's time to find a job. So I started applying. So I actually set my goal because right after Zynga, Zynga is one of the top social game companies at that time. So for me, I had 2 choices. One is to apply another startup, maybe smaller companies. I can do everything. And another one is a bigger company than Zynga. That was my goal. And I applied Disney. You know, like the big companies, you have to go to their website and fill out a form and everything and then wait for things to happen.
Right.
And luckily, I got the call from recruiter a few days after my first interview. And then the first thing the recruiter says, she started negotiating my salary already.
What were your duties going to be?
So when I applied It's actually, they called it a really vague title. It's called digital designer.
Mm.
And after talking to the recruiter, it's actually about UI design.
What is UI design?
So UI is designing their user interface for their apps, like buttons and the look of all the control buttons.
Okay.
And I had web design experience in Taiwan, so I was doing web design before.
Right.
I didn't really like it. That's why I switched to concept arts and illustration. So when I knew about UI design, I was like, oh, okay, maybe I can try it because it's Disney.
Amazing. So how long were you at Disney for doing UI?
1 year.
And then what happened?
Well, another layoff.
Okay.
It's actually pretty common, especially for game industry. It's pretty common to get laid off every year or every other year.
And would you say you preferred working for Zynga, or would you say you preferred working for Disney?
It's hard to compare because I enjoy Zynga's benefits and work environments.
Yeah, I see.
But I love my Disney friends, my Disney coworkers.
Okay.
Because Zynga is more male-dominant, but at Disney it's more balanced.
Okay, so why don't you tell me a little bit about Who Creates Studio, a studio that you founded. And for our listeners, Who is her last name, H-U, and then Creates Studio. Angie, why don't you tell me a bit about that?
My studio it's like an art studio. Right now I'm focusing on being an artist agency, while I'm doing game art outsource as well. Mostly for, like, if they want to outsource all the game arts, 2D or 3D, I can do it.
Oh, okay. And have you done anything for, like, movies or cartoons or TV shows or anything?
Yeah, I have done animation design, character design for a China company. I did a couple of different things. I did motion graphic animation, and when I did animation movie character design and more game projects, and sometimes web design, logo design. That's a smaller project.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
Do you like working in animation design?
I like animation because that was my first goal, working in animation, but I end up doing games. So I've been trying to do some more animation projects.
Okay. So your studio now works as an agency as well as a learning studio?
So besides doing art outsource work, I promote artists to do licensing and online promotion. And I also teach in my studio, teaching people how to work on their resume, being a talent on international market, not just in Taiwan.
Do you teach people how to do art as well?
Not for now. It's mostly for personal branding and the career path, and how to develop their career for international market.
Okay, so your Who Creates Studio basically helps new artists get their work out there and learn how to brand and market themselves in the world. Wow, that's amazing. Do you do anything else? It seems like you've done everything when it comes to the animation and art world. Are you doing anything else now?
Last year, I hosted a big event. I invited a Marvel artist from LA, Anthony Francisco. He's the Marvel movie concept artist. So I invited him to Taiwan to do a talk. And we also helped him to have an art show, his first ever solo art show, and a workshop.
And so what happened with that?
200 people talk, and 30 people workshop, and a week-long art show, and we have press meeting.
If you could give 2 or 3 pieces of advice to new artists who want to break into the industry or want to better market themselves, what would be the most important things that they should do or know?
Okay, I tell my students, English.
Okay.
So as long as you know English, your market is not just Taiwan. It's all the English-speaking country, including Europe or Southeast Asia and the U.S. And internet is so convenient. So for all the artists and designers, they must have a good portfolio on Behance.com. BEHANCE.com.
Okay, so you suggest that artists have portfolios on Behance.com, which is BEHANCE.com. Why is that?
That's like the standard. It's the must thing to do for all artists and designers right now.
Okay.
They have all kind of artwork and portfolio, and I think Adobe acquired them, so it's combined with Adobe account as well. So with a good portfolio, you need to have a good LinkedIn. LinkedIn is like the online resume.
Right.
So LinkedIn is a must.
Okay.
And then after you have a good portfolio and a good resume, I think it's to starting to promote online, maybe Instagram.
Okay.
Right now, Instagram is perfect tool for artists and designers to promote their work.
Right. Okay.
And posting daily is the key, or being consistent is the key to promote Instagram.
So actually, for our listeners, if anybody wants to check out some of Angie's artwork, why don't you give them your Instagram account name?
My Instagram is Hu Paints, H-U, Paints, P-A-I-N-T-S.
Okay, well, thank you so much for speaking with me, and I wish you the best of luck. Thank you again. That's it for this week's episode of Taiwan Talk. I'd like to thank Angie Hu again for joining me. And don't forget to tune in next week for an all-new episode. As always, remember to take care of yourselves. I'm Sheree Felice.